Dear Diary, so today is the second video on my Lush Perfumes collection, and here I have, and I'm gonna share with you. The first one is Imhome. It's in a very dark color, and my bottle is still freshly, no, it's not freshly made, it's already made in 2018. A whole ton of things in here, but of cocoa. Yes, the cocoa, the chocolate kind of feel is in here, but it's not like a cocoa powder. It's not like cocoa powder. This is not powdery. This is thick cocoa, you know, as if it has just melted in a pot. It smells very delicious. But before I get to this delicious stage, before I get to this stage of this delicious decadent cocoa resinous vanillic heaven, I have to go through a stage whereby it is quite woody and also quite anise-like. Yeah, it's quite anise-like in the beginning, and there is some woodiness in here that is very prominent in the beginning. I would say that the anise is really prominent, and when it slowly dries down, the other sweeter side of the perfume starts to shine more, and hence take over the spiciness of the anise. If you're not familiar with anise, I think you can refer to the very popular fragrance Lolita Lampica. It has a huge dose of anise in there. Same thing in here. The anise is there, it is in this perfume in the beginning, but as it develops, it is slowly engulfed and taken over by this quite sweet, quite thick vanilla absolute. It is not anything ice cream like, it is not anything too fluffy. It is just a very thick, very dense texture of this sweet scent. I would say it's quite gourmand. But first you have to get past that anise, spicy, and some kind of woody thing in the background. So it's a very pleasant one, but yeah, like I said, I don't recommend anybody to blind buy anything. To be honest, when people ask if it's anything from Lush that is safe to blind buy, I always hold back my comments, because for me, I actually think that nothing is a safe blind buy. Yeah, that's what I think. Nothing is a safe blind buy. So what a person should do is to know your own nose. That's the only advice that I can give. But if a person ever wants to try or have no other choice but to blind buy a Lush perfume, I would recommend them to take the solid perfume to try it out first. At least you won't be so frustrated if you don't like it, right? The solid perfume is still cheaper than the liquid perfume. And also, if you don't want to try the solid perfume, you can even resort to buying their wash card. Or if you don't like it, you really want to get a liquid perfume, just get the smaller size. Yeah. So the next one is All Good Things. The second one is All Good Things. This is a perfume that I got for myself after I have finished the solid perfume. So you can imagine how much I like it. Yeah, I graduated from a solid to a liquid. Okay, so this is lemonine, some lemon oil, some cedarwood, some rose oil, tonka absolute, some juniper oil, some anise also, and citruses. Yep. A lot of natural essential oils in here. I really like it, I really like this one. To be honest, I think if you are a gourmand lover, you want more of that citrus kick and more of that delicious thing in the dry down, go for the solid perfume. Because the solid perfume of All Good Things, as compared to this one, the liquid one, I think that in the liquid one, the cedarwood actually comes up more. In the solid perfume, the cedarwood is kind of like, buried into the background by all this delicious citrusiness. But in here, this liquid perfume, the cedar wood is in here. So it's very, very woody, a little bit smoky in the beginning, but if you can get past that beginning, you would enjoy the middle of this perfume, which is when the citrus starts to come out to play. It's quite funny, you know, like they put cedarwood in the front first, and then only the citruses start to show, whereas in most designer perfumes, the citruses will start to show first, and the cedarwood will most likely end up in the base note. So I think it's a very, you know, fun and creative way of making a perfume for Lush, and that's why I really like it. It's like, you know, they try to catch me by surprise, and they are very successful. And other than that, cedarwood oil and the very lovely citruses, I also do get some rose oil. It's not like a rose perfume, but you get the edges of the rose. It's not really that strong of a rose perfume, more depleted by adding a lot of very sweet tonka absolute, and also, yeah, it's tonka in here. It's tonka. I think it's tonka. It's rose and tonka. Yeah, it's rose and tonka and some citruses. But when the citruses dry down some more, the rose and the tonka will interplay with each other and present a very lovely blend. It's not as thick and dense as Imhome, but it's almost there. You know, it's almost there. There is some sweetness, but it's not as sweet and thick like the whole vanillic and tonka blend. It's more like a rose, a very slight rose, not like a full bloom kind of rose. I don't get like many rose in here. It's just a very tiny bit of the rose mixed with most of it the tonka. The tonka has a little bit touch of this benzoin sweetness. It's not all tonka and vanillic. There is some smokiness in here still, and there is still some woodiness coming from the cedarwood oil. And I think this is what makes all good things and all good things, because all good things come to an end. It's a bittersweet perfume, and I like the bittersweet interpretation that is very well put together and presented in this perfume, all good things. And the last perfume in this episode of Lush Perfume Collection is Sick and Goals. Oops. Okay, Sick and Goals. Okay, this is another perfume that I've graduated from a solid perfume to a liquid perfume. Well, this is a very heady floral, but it's not as animal-like and civet-like, not as musky and as Lust. It's more like a fresher version of Lust, minus all the civet, minus all the indulse quality. So it's less of a indolic fragrance. It's more like a play between all these beautiful white florals, and the main player is the jasmine steel. I would say the jasmine steel play a very big role in this perfume, but it's intermingled, and the indolic quality of this jasmine is taken down a notch by adding some frangipani and also some tuberose. It's not like a very strong tuberose perfume like we can always get from niche perfume, like, you know, it's not the tuberose like the very famous Petit Fracas. Is it Petit? Yeah, it's not like that, and it's not like Carnal Flower, that kind of tuberose. This tuberose is only like a little bit, a tiny touch of it, just to add that airy quality. It's not like adding the heavy coconutty side of this tuberose. It's not even the green side of the tuberose. It's just adding a slight touch of this airiness that can come off from the tuberose sometimes. And there is a huge dose of jasmine steel, and yeah, the indoles are taken out and replaced by this very lovely frangipani. The frangipani here, I think, yeah, I can definitely smell the frangipani, but it's not like it's not coconutty like. It's not like it's mixed with tons of other coconut or buttery kind of scent that makes it feel like a suntan lotion kind of a scent. It's not anything like that. The frangipani in here acts more like a person in charge, like a person behind the curtain who will control this crazy dancer in the front, and that is the jasmine. It's like the frangipani is controlling the jasmine in the front, you know, taking the indolic quality of the jasmine down and putting a little bit of every touch from the tuberose into this fragrance. There is nothing sweet in this fragrance, nothing sweet. If I were to say that it is sweet, the only sweetness that I can get from it is from the florals. And you know, floral, it can't go into the gourmand kind of sweetness level. It's just very florally. And yeah, if you don't like Lush Lust, maybe you could give Sikkim Girls a try, because definitely the jasmine is still the player, but the crazy uncontrollable jasmine is being put into this white skirt, and this skirt will limit the movement of this jasmine, making her unable to move as crazily as she wants. And the frangipani, which is the mother behind this jasmine flower, she will control the jasmine, and she will make sure that there is a little tiny bit of this powdery quality, and also some airiness added by the tuberose. Yeah, I would say that the tuberose is the auntie in here. It's like a floral family in this perfume. So that's all about it today. Thank you for listening to me. If you're a fan of perfumes like me, I would really appreciate it if you could click the subscribe button, and don't forget to give me a like if you want to. See you in the next one. Bye.